think we live in an era of enormous changes of our society, of our own psychology, of who we are as people, of how we deal with each other. We live in an era of enormous changes, and we realize that the digital era, which started so hopeful and started so, it's unimaginable what we can all do now and how quickly we can exchange information and be in touch, it all turned into another direction than we anticipated. And storytelling is disappearing. Instead of storytelling, we're now in an age of story selling. We are used to dealing with every image as information, and also movies become information. Everything now is information, and everything is digital. And we're out of touch with many things we were still in touch with 20, 30 years ago. And it involves all of us, and we're all addicted to this machine, and we all lose a lot of our own abilities and pass it on to that thing. That is now our memory, and we have replaced our own memory. We have handed our memories over to the thing, the computer, whatever we're using. So it's a huge change, and of course cinema is part of that change. And movies, in many ways, for a whole new generation, is a form of information and no longer a form of storytelling. And if you see a film on your mobile phone or on your computer, you see something else. You see something that is leveled by everything else you see on that platform. And movies are no longer have the innocence of storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most ancient forms of communication for humans, and we're all losing the patience for storytelling, because stories need time. And we start looking at movies as if they were just another form of information, and that changes the entire ballgame. And I'm so happy that this is such a fantastic full house, and the other day at the London Theatre as well. I'm amazed how much people in India still go to see movies in theaters, and it's almost a dream come true for somebody who lives in Europe, where a lot of theaters are facing a very hard time, because the pandemic has helped to propel audiences away out of theaters into their own homes, where they see all the information they want. They're used to seeing series much more than films. And series is another form of storytelling, but in the way it's consumed, it increases the idea that images are there to be consumed. And storytelling and consuming or listening to stories or giving yourself to a story is a different attitude than consuming. Consuming is the enemy of storytelling. So we live in that age in which cinema has to face all that. And I don't think it's hopeless. I think cinema has a lot of power in itself, and a lot of transformative power, and it has proven so in its 130 years. And cinema also has a healing power, and sometimes today I feel we have to rely on the healing power of theater experience and of movies as a form of storytelling to take us back into a different realm than the overload, the tsunami of information that we are exposed to. And it turns everything into the same stream of information. And the same as we're talking about American friendship has changed its meaning. Now people have million friends but don't know any of them, and when they need one, there's nobody left because they're all on their mobile phones. So, as you know, a lot of my films deal with the subject of loneliness. Today there's a whole new form of loneliness, a very sick form of loneliness, because people are made, even if these instruments tell us they provide us social media, we became more and more asocial, and we became more and more estranged from first-hand experiences. So I think even films have to start addressing the subject of loneliness now in a different form, because there's a new disease, a new deadly form of loneliness now, that is the digital loneliness. So we live in that huge change, and of course cinema is in the middle of it, but I believe cinema has a lot of power of regenerating and has a power of convincing also that it's a better medium than our social media. And I made Perfect Days, for instance, not thinking that this was a movie that would generate a lot of people and a lot of success in movie theaters. And I've never had a film with more people seeing it than Perfect Days. And this is about a film about a man who cleans toilet, who is not on the internet, who doesn't have television, who doesn't even know any digital media. And people feel that he lives a different life than they do, and he has something that they're desperately longing for. And so I believe cinema has a power to still be what it is and still be a healing medium, but we don't know how it's turning, and we don't know if cinema will overcome the onslaught of all the media you just called upon. Thank you.
And just briefly, just want to